Yes, contractions are starting. We're on our way.
The peaceful moment happened on a Tuesday morning, 2.5 months after Margaret Kim had helped them destroy both fathers' empires. Tamara was 9 months pregnant, exhausted, enormous, and sitting in the warehouse nursery watching 11-month-old Hana and Minho play with blocks on the floor. Yangu was making breakfast in the kitchen. For the first time in months, everything felt almost normal. And then she felt it. The warm gush between her legs. The sudden tightening across her belly that made her gasp. Hana looked up from her blocks, sensing her mother's distress. Minho kept playing, oblivious. Young, ooh! Tamara's voice came out steady, despite the fear flooding her system. It's time. Young Yu appeared
Yes,
in the
contractions
doorway
are starting.
within
We're on our
seconds.
way.
Saw the expression on her face, the wet spot spreading on the chair beneath her. How far apart are the contractions? That was the first one. Tamara stood carefully, felt another wave beginning to build. Actually, that's the second one. They're close. Too close. Yangu was already pulling out his phone, calling their driver, calling the hospital to alert them. We need to move. Now. The twins. Tamara looked at Hana and Minho. We can't bring them to the hospital. It's not safe. Margaret's on her way. She'll take them to the secondary safe house. Yangu helped Tamara stand. We planned for this, remember? Everything's ready. Another contraction hit, stronger this time. Tamara gripped Yangu's arm and breathed through it. When it passed, she looked him in the eyes. Something feels wrong. This is too fast. The contractions shouldn't be this close this early. First, babies can be fast. Yangu's voice was calm, but his eyes betrayed his fear. We need to get you to the hospital. Margaret arrived within 10 minutes. Her own security team in tow. She took one look at Tamara and nodded approvingly. Finally. I was beginning to think this baby would never come. She turned to her team. Get the twins to Safe House 3. Full security protocol. No one gets near them. Tamara kissed both babies goodbye, felt her heart breaking as Minho reached for her and didn't understand why Mama was leaving. Be good for Auntie Margaret. Mama will be back soon. But she wouldn't be back soon. And nothing would go according to plan. The drive to the hospital took 15 minutes through morning Seoul traffic. Tamara's contractions were 3 minutes apart by the time they arrived. Too fast. Everything was happening too fast. Yangu helped her out of the car while his security team surrounded them. The hospital entrance looked normal. Doctors and nurses moving around, patients coming and going. Nothing suspicious. That should have been their first warning. They'd chosen this hospital carefully. Small, private, owned by a doctor who owed Margaret Kim favors. The entire maternity ward had been reserved for Tamara's delivery. Security had swept it 3 times. Background checks on every staff member. It was supposed to be safe. Yangu helped. Tamara into a wheelchair. A nurse appeared immediately, smiling, professional. Mrs. Kim, we've been expecting you. Everything's ready. Let's get you upstairs. Something about her smile made Tamara's skin crawl. But another contraction hit, and she couldn't focus on anything except breathing through the pain. Yangu held her hand as they took the elevator to the 4th floor maternity ward. The doors opened onto chaos. Doctors and nurses were running. Alarms were going off. Someone was screaming. The nurse pushing Tamara's wheelchair stopped abruptly. What's happening? A doctor rushed past. Chemical spill in the West Wing. Everyone's being evacuated. We need to move all patients to emergency backup locations. This ward too? Yangu's voice went hard with suspicion. Especially this ward. The doctor barely stopped. Fumes are spreading through the ventilation system. You need to leave. Now. Yangu pulled out his phone to call his security team. No signal. He checked. Full bars, but calls. Wouldn't connect. They're jamming communications. This is a setup. The nurse behind Tamara's wheelchair grabbed her suddenly, started pushing fast toward a different hallway. We have a secure delivery room this way, away from the contamination. Yangu stepped in front of the wheelchair. Who are you? The nurse's smile never wavered. I'm Nurse Park. I've been assigned to Mrs. Kim's delivery. Show me your credentials. The nurse pulled out an ID badge. Perfect. Official. Completely legitimate looking. Yangu studied it, looked at her face, looked back at the badge. Something was wrong, but he couldn't pinpoint what. Tamara gasped as another contraction seized her. We don't have time for this. I need to deliver this baby now. Yangu made a decision. He signaled to his 2 security guards. Stay with her. Don't let her out of your sight. I'm getting answers. He ran toward the chaos in the West Wing. Found a doctor he recognized from the background checks. What chemical spill? What happened? The doctor looked confused. Chemical spill? There's no chemical spill. We had a fire alarm go off, but maintenance said it was a malfunction. Yangu's blood went cold. Get to the maternity ward. Now. Code red. It's a trap. He ran back the way he'd come. The hallway was empty. Tamara was gone. The security guards were gone. Just blood on the floor where they'd been standing. His phone buzzed. Finally working. Text from unknown number with a photo attached. The photo showed Tamara in a delivery room, on a bed, in active labor, surrounded by medical staff. The caption read, "She's safe. For now. Do exactly what we say, or we deliver the baby without her surviving the process." Signed, The Network. Yangu's hands shook with rage and fear. Where is she? Another text, Delivery Room 7, East Wing. But you can't reach it. We control this floor. Every exit is blocked. Every stairwell monitored. You try to force your way in, she dies. What do you want? Not what. Who? Another photo. This one showed a man Yangu had never seen before. 60 years old, Korean, expensive suit, cold eyes. He wants to meet you. Delivery room. Come alone, unarmed, or Tamara bleeds out on that table. Yangu threw his gun to the floor, kicked it away, started walking toward the East Wing. Every step felt like walking toward his own execution. The hallways were empty now, silent, like the entire hospital had been evacuated except for whatever was happening in Delivery Room 7. Yangu's mind raced through possibilities. Who was the man? What did the network want? Where were his security guards? Then his phone buzzed again. Different number. Margaret. The twins are gone. Yangu stopped walking. What do you mean gone? We were ambushed leaving the warehouse. Professional team. Military-grade weapons. They took Hana and Minho. My team is dead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yangu couldn't breathe. The twins, Tamara, the baby, all of them in danger simultaneously. This wasn't random. This was coordinated. Planned. Surgical. Where are you? He managed. Hospital parking garage. Margaret's voice was tight with pain. I'm hit. Leg wound. But I can still move. Where's Tamara? Delivery room 7. They have her. Yangu kept walking. I'm going in. Wait for backup. Margaret's voice was sharp. This is what they want. You walking in alone, unarmed, desperate. I don't have a choice. My wife is delivering our baby surrounded by enemies. My other children are missing. I'm out of options. You always have options. Margaret's voice softened. Your mother taught you that. Think, Yangu. What would Grace do? Yangu stopped in front of Delivery Room 7. The door was closed. No window. No way to see inside. He could hear Tamara screaming through the wood. She was in pain. Active labor. Maybe already delivering. He couldn't think. Could only act. He opened the door. The room was set up for delivery. Medical equipment. Monitors beeping. Bright lights. And in the center, on the delivery. Bed Tamara. 9 months pregnant, in active labor, legs in stirrups, covered by a thin sheet, sweating, screaming, pushing. Surrounding her were 6 people in medical scrubs and masks, only their eyes visible. One of them was clearly the doctor delivering the baby. The others were nurses, or they were pretending to be. And in the corner, sitting in a chair like he was watching a show, was the man from the photo. 60 years old, expensive suit, cold eyes studying Yangu like he was a specimen in a laboratory. Close the door. The man's voice was cultured, educated, absolutely calm. We wouldn't want to disturb the other patients. Yangu closed the door, moved toward Tamara. She saw him, and her eyes filled with tears. Yangu, they won't let me stop. They're forcing the delivery. It's too early to stop anyway. The man stood, walked closer. The baby's coming whether we want it to or not. But whether mother and child both survive? That depends on you. Who are you? Yangu positioned himself beside Tamara's bed, took her hand. My name is Park Dong-min, though you can call me what your father called me. Uncle Park. The man smiled. I've known your family for 60 years, since before you were born, before your brother was born. I was there when your father built his empire. More accurately, I helped him build it. You're part of the network. Yangu's voice was flat. I am the network. Park Dong-min's smile widened. Your father, your uncle, Tai Yang, 3 other families. We built modern Korea together. Controlled the economy, the politics, the criminal underworld, everything. For 6 decades, we ran this country from the shadows. And we would have continued if your mother hadn't gotten ideas about female empowerment. Tamara screamed again. The doctor between her legs spoke for the first time. She's crowning. Baby's coming. Yangu looked down at Tamara. Her face was pale, covered in sweat, twisted with pain. She gripped his hand so hard he thought bones might break. I'm here. I'm not leaving you. How touching. Park moved closer. Did you know your mother tried to destroy us? Grace Kim. She discovered the network when she was researching family finances, found evidence of everything. The corruption, the bribes, the murders. She was going to expose us all, so we had to stop her. You killed her. Yangu's voice was hollow. We gave her cancer. Park said it casually, like discussing the weather. Slow-acting poison in her medication over 2 years. Made it look natural. By the time she realized what was happening, it was too late. She died knowing we'd won. That the network would continue. Tamara screamed louder. The baby's head was emerging. The doctor's hands were guiding it. Almost there. Keep pushing. Yangu wanted to kill Park Dong-min, wanted to tear him apart with his bare hands. But he couldn't move, couldn't leave Tamara's side. Could only watch as the man who'd murdered his mother smiled and continued talking. Your mother made one mistake. Before she died. Park pulled out his phone, showed Yangu a document. She transferred the Kim empire to a trust controlled by women. She thought that would protect it, protect you. She didn't realize the network doesn't care about legal documents. We care about power. We care about control. And your children? They're the key to controlling the next generation of the Kim empire. Heirs we can raise, mold, use. What do you mean? Yangu demanded. The baby's head was fully out now. The doctor was suctioning its mouth and nose. One more push. Almost done. You can't have them? Tamara's voice was weak but fierce. You can't have my babies. Park looked at her with something like pity. My dear, we already have 2 of them. Hana and Minho are in our custody as we speak. Secure location. Well cared for. And in about 30 seconds, we'll have the 3rd one too. He gestured to the doctor. Once the baby's delivered, sedate the mother. Prepare her for transport. Transport where? Yangu moved to block the doctor's access to Tamara. Our facility. Park pulled out a gun, pointed it casually at Yangu. Where we'll keep all 3 children, raise them properly, train them to take over the Kim empire when they come of age. Under our control, of course. As for the parents, you'll be kept alive as long as you're useful, as long as you cooperate. The moment you become a problem, you disappear. You're insane. Yangu stared at the gun. I'm practical. Park's finger rested on the trigger. Your father understood this. Jae-won helped us establish these protocols 40 years ago. We've been collecting children from powerful families for decades, raising them, controlling them. Your children will join dozens of others. They'll be educated, trained. Eventually, they'll run Korea's biggest corporations and political offices, all under network control. It's quite an efficient system. Tamara gathered what little strength she had left. Over my dead body. That can be arranged. Park gestured with the gun. Doctor, continue. The doctor pulled. The baby slid free. A girl. Tiny, covered in vernix and blood, not crying yet. The doctor held her up, suctioned her airways more aggressively. The baby girl's mouth opened and she wailed. Loud, angry, alive. It's a girl, the doctor announced. Healthy, good weight, strong lungs. Bring her to me. Park held out his arms. I want to see the newest acquisition. Before the doctor could move, one of the nurses suddenly pulled off her mask. Underneath was a face Tamara had hoped never to see again. Scarred, burned, reconstructed through extensive surgery, but still recognizable. Minji. Hello again. Minji's voice was different, damaged by the fire, but her eyes were the same. Cold, calculating, insane. Surprised to see me? I've been here the whole time, watching you scream, watching you suffer, enjoying every second. Yangu lunged, but Park's gun stopped him. Don't move. Park's voice was calm. Minji, take the baby, prepare her for transport. Minji reached for the newborn. Tamara tried to sit up, tried to stop her, but her body wouldn't cooperate. She'd just given birth. She was bleeding, exhausted, helpless. No, please. Not my baby. Minji smiled with her scarred face. You destroyed my life, my face, my future. Now I destroy yours. She took the baby girl from the doctor's hands, held her almost tenderly. Don't worry. We'll take good care of her. She'll never even know you existed. Before we continue, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe to K Mafia Romance Stories for stories that'll wreck you in the best way. Yangu made his move, grabbed a metal instrument tray, and swung it at Park. Park fired. The bullet caught Yangu in the shoulder, spun him around, but didn't stop him. He crashed into Park, and they both went down. The gun skittered across the floor. Minji ran for the door, holding the screaming baby. Tamara tried to get up, collapsed. Tried again, her body. Wouldn't work. Blood was pooling beneath her. Too much blood. The other nurses in the room threw off their masks. All men, all armed. They grabbed Yangu, pulled him off Park, beat him viciously. Park stood, bleeding from a cut on his forehead, absolutely furious. Sedate him. Sedate her. Get them both ready for transport. One of the men pulled out a syringe. Yangu fought, but there were 4 of them. They held him down and injected him. His vision started to blur. No. Tamara. The babies. Tamara watched helplessly as they drugged Yangu. As Minji disappeared through the door with her newborn daughter. As Park Dong-min straightened his suit and smiled coldly at her. Your children will be raised properly. By the network. They'll never know their mother was a weak woman who couldn't protect them. They'll be told you died in childbirth. They'll be raised to serve us. To continue the empire we've built. Tamara's vision was darkening. Blood loss. Too much blood loss. She was dying. She could feel it. But with her last conscious thought, she whispered, Margaret, help us. Park heard her, laughed. Margaret Kim? Your great protector? She's bleeding out in a parking garage. There's no one coming to save you. He nodded to his men. Load them both in the medical transport van. Take them to the facility. I'll handle the cleanup here. But Park was wrong. Margaret Kim wasn't dying. She was in the parking garage, bleeding from a leg wound, but very much alive. And she'd been listening to everything through the wire Yangu had been wearing. A wire Park's team had found and disabled. Or thought they'd disabled. They'd missed the backup. The one sewn into the lining of Yangu's jacket. The one broadcasting everything to Margaret's secure channel. Margaret pulled out her phone. Made 3 calls. First to the police. Anonymous tip about kidnapping and assault at the hospital. Second to every news outlet in Korea. Another anonymous tip with audio evidence of Park Dong-min, confessing to decades of crimes. Third to someone only she and Grace Kim had known about, the final contingency. The one they had hoped never to use. The phone rang twice before a voice answered. Yes? It's Margaret Kim, Grace's sister. The children are taken. The network has them. It's time. The voice was silent for a long moment. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Make it 10. Margaret ended the call, pulled herself to her feet despite the leg wound, limped toward the hospital entrance. She had to reach delivery room 7 before they moved Tamara and Yangu. But she was too late. By the time Margaret reached the 4th floor, the room was empty. Just blood on the delivery bed. Medical equipment left behind. The window open, cold air blowing in. She looked out and saw a white medical van pulling away from the building's back entrance. Tamara and Yangu were in that van, unconscious, being taken to whatever facility the network had prepared. And somewhere else in the city, her grandniece and grandnephew, 11-month-old Hannah and Minho, and their newborn sister were already being processed, already becoming property of the network. Margaret's phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Video file. She opened it with shaking hands. The video showed a clean clinical room. 3 incubators. In one, a newborn baby girl crying. In the other 2, toddlers sleeping, obviously sedated, Hana and Minho. The camera panned to show Park Dong-min standing beside the incubators, smiling. His voice came through crystal clear. By the time you see this, we'll already be at the secure facility. You'll never find us. But don't worry, the children will be well cared for, educated, trained. They'll serve the network just like their grandfather did, just like their father should have. Margaret felt bile rise in her throat. Park continued. As for the parents, they'll be kept sedated, controlled. Yangu will be useful for business transactions we need a Kim signature on. Tamara will be kept alive as leverage for his cooperation. If he doesn't sign what we need, we hurt her. Simple, effective. The video showed Park walking toward the camera. One more thing, Margaret. We know you're alive. We know you're coming. But you're too late. Always too late. Grace tried to stop us, and she died. You'll try, and you'll fail. The network has existed for 60 years because we're smarter, better organized, more ruthless. You can't win. The video ended. Margaret stared at her phone, felt decades of carefully controlled emotion threaten to overwhelm her. Grace had fought this organization her whole life, had died fighting it, had left behind plans and contingencies, hoping her family would finish what she started. Footsteps behind her. Margaret turned. A figure stood in the hallway, tall, broad-shouldered, moving with military precision, face hidden in shadow. Margaret Kim? The voice was male, Korean, authority in every syllable. Margaret nodded. You came. The figure stepped into the light. Korean man, 45 years old, scarred face, cold eyes that had seen too much, military bearing, government credentials visible on his belt, National Intelligence Service, Anti-Trafficking Division. My name is Agent Han Min-woo. Grace Kim contacted me 2 years ago, said if anything happened to her grandchildren, I was to help her family destroy the network. She gave me files, evidence, everything I needed to bring them down. I've been waiting for this moment. They have 3 children, newborn and 2 toddlers. They have Tamara and Yangu. Margaret's voice was steady. They're being moved to a facility. We need to find them. We will. Agent Han pulled out a tablet, showed her surveillance footage. We've been tracking the network for 15 years. Your sister's evidence helped us identify locations across Korea. We know their patterns, their routes. He zoomed in on a location in rural Korea. This is where they'll take them. Facility 7, rural Gangwon province. It's their primary processing center. Can you get a team there in time? I have teams ready. Agent Han made a call. All units move to Facility 7. Hostages include 3 children under 1-year-old and 2 adults. Suspects are armed. Their rules of engagement are weapons-free. Margaret watched him coordinate the assault. Felt hope for the first time. Can you save them? Agent Han looked at her with eyes that promised death to anyone who hurt children. Watch me. In the medical transport van, Tamara woke up, groggy from sedation but alive. She was strapped to a gurney, Yangu beside her, still unconscious. The van was moving. She could hear traffic outside. Her hands were restrained but loosely. She'd been giving birth when they sedated her. They hadn't expected her to wake up this quickly. She worked her right hand free, slowly, carefully. The guard in the van wasn't watching closely. Tamara's medical training kicked in. She knew where to strike to drop someone instantly. She'd never used this knowledge to hurt anyone before. But she'd also never had her children stolen and her husband shot. She freed her other hand, waited for the right moment. The van slowed at a traffic light. She struck. Her hand hit the guard's neck. Perfect placement. Carotid artery pressure point. He collapsed instantly. The driver turned, shocked. Tamara kicked him in the face from her position on the gurney. His head bounced off the window. The van swerved. She scrambled off the gurney, climbed into the front seat, grabbed the wheel. The driver was dazed, but recovering. She hit him again. Harder. He went limp. Tamara pulled the van to the side of the road. Traffic honked around them. She didn't care. She dragged the unconscious guard and driver out, left them on the sidewalk, climbed into the driver's seat, started driving. She had no idea where the facility was, no idea where her children were. But she knew Margaret, knew Yangu's aunt would have tracking, would be following, would find them, all. Tamara had to do was stay conscious and keep moving. In the back of the van, Yangu woke to the sound of Tamara driving. He tried to sit up, groaned from the bullet wound in his shoulder. "Tamara? I'm here," Tamara called back. "I'm driving. We're going to get our babies back. How did you—" "I'm a mother." Tamara's voice was steel. They shouldn't have underestimated what a mother will do. Yangu managed to smile despite the pain. "That's my wife." Meanwhile, at Facility 7 in rural Gangwon Province, Park Dong-min was receiving the worst news of his life. His carefully orchestrated plan was falling apart. The parents escaped. One of his men reported through the phone. The van was found abandoned, driver and guard unconscious. No sign of Kim Young-yu or the woman. Park's face went white with rage. "Find them, now." "There's more, sir. Police are surrounding this facility. National Intelligence Service. They know we're here. They're demanding we surrender the children." Park looked at the 3 incubators. At the newborn, still crying. At the sedated toddlers, Hana and Minho. He'd worked 60 years for this. Built an empire in the shadows. Controlled Korea's power structure. And now it was collapsing because of one woman and her stubborn refusal to be a victim. Execute Contingency Omega. Park's voice was cold. "If I can't have them, no one can. Terminate the children. Destroy the evidence." The doctor in the room looked shocked. "Sir, they're children. Valuable assets. We can still— They're liabilities now." Park pulled out his gun. "Evidence that can be traced back to us. Terminate them. That's an order." The doctor hesitated. That hesitation saved 3 lives. Because at that exact moment, the doors to Facility 7 exploded inward. Flashbangs detonated. Smoke filled the room. Armed soldiers in tactical gear poured in. Agent Han's team, everyone on the ground, hands visible. "Now!" Park reached for his gun. 3 red laser sights appeared on his chest. He froze, slowly, raised his hands. The doctor raised his hands immediately. "I'm just following orders. I never wanted to hurt anyone." Agent Han entered the room, saw the 3 incubators, saw the children inside. His face hardened. "Get the children out. Medical team now. Arrest everyone in this facility." Medics rushed in, carefully removed the babies from the incubators. The newborn was screaming, healthy. Hana and Minho were waking from sedation, crying for their mother. Park Dong-min watched his empire die, watched soldiers take the children he'd planned to control, watched his life's work collapse. And he smiled. A cold, terrible smile. "You think you've won?" His voice carried across the chaos. "The network is bigger than me. Bigger than this facility. You've cut off one head. Others will take my place. This isn't over." Agent Han walked up to him. Put him in handcuffs. Read him his rights. We'll see about that. Margaret Kim arrived at the facility as they were bringing the children out. She saw Hana and Minho being carried by medics. Saw her grandniece and grandnephew alive and safe. Felt tears she hadn't cried in 50 years stream down her face. The newborn. Where's the newborn? Agent Han's face showed concern. We found 2 toddlers. But the 3rd incubator was empty. No sign of the baby. Margaret's heart stopped. Where is she? We're interrogating everyone now. Agent Han looked at Park being loaded into an armored vehicle. Someone took her during the breach. We're reviewing security footage. Tamara arrived in the stolen medical van with wounded Yangu moments later. Saw Hana and Minho being checked by medics. Ran to them despite her own injuries from giving birth hours ago. Held them. Sobbed. But her arms felt empty. Where's my baby? Where's Grace? Margaret's face told her everything. Tamara's knees gave out. Yangu caught her. No. We just got her back. Minji took her. Agent Han showed them security footage. During the raid, disguised as medical staff, she grabbed the baby and escaped through a service exit. We have units searching, but she had a vehicle waiting. Tamara's phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. Photo attached. The photo showed Minji, scarred face visible, holding a tiny newborn baby. The caption read, "You destroyed my beauty. My future, my life. Now I take yours. Your daughter. I'm going to disappear where you'll never find us. She'll grow up thinking I'm her mother. She'll never know your name. Goodbye, Tamara." Tamara collapsed, held Hana and Minho, stared at the photo of her stolen daughter, screamed until her throat was raw and her voice was gone. Yangu pulled her close. "We'll find her. I swear to you. We'll get Grace back." "How?" Tamara's voice was broken. She could be anywhere. Agent Han put every resource into the search. International alerts, border security, airport surveillance. But Minji had planned her escape for months. False passports, money hidden, safe houses arranged. She was a ghost. Days passed. No leads. No sightings. Park Dong-min was in prison, but his lawyers were already working on appeals. The network's influence was deep. Even with one facility destroyed, the organization continued operating. 2 weeks after the birth, Tamara sat in the warehouse holding Hana and Minho, staring at the empty 3rd crib. The crib meant for Grace, the daughter she'd held for 30 seconds. Yangu found her there. "We got a message from Park's lawyer. What does he want?" Yangu showed her the letter. Park was offering a trade. Information about Minji's location in exchange for Tamara signing over control of the Kim Empire. Give up the trust. Give Park back his power. In return, he'd tell them where Minji was hiding. It's a trap. Yangu's voice was tight. He's lying. Probably. Tamara looked at her twins. But what if he's not? What if this is our only chance to find Grace? We don't negotiate with him. Then how do we get our daughter back? Tamara's voice rose. It's been 2 weeks. Every day she's gone is a day she's bonding with Minji instead of me. Every day she won't know who I am. Yangu sat beside her, took her hand. We find another way. There is no other way. Tamara pulled away. I'm taking his deal. The meeting was arranged for that night. High-rise office building in Gangnam. Park's lawyers and Tamara's lawyers would handle the transfer. Park would provide Minji's location. Everyone gets what they want. Margaret tried to stop her. If you do this, you lose all protection. Park could come after you the moment he has power back. Then we'll run. Tamara was adamant. Leave Korea. Start over. As long as I have all 3 children, nothing else matters. Yangu watched her pack, saw the determination, made his own decision. He pulled Jae-hyun aside. I need you to do something. Don't tell Tamara. What are you planning? Jae-hyun's eyes narrowed. Yangu whispered his plan. Jae-hyun's face went pale. That's suicide. I don't need to survive. I need them to be safe. Yangu looked at his brother. Will you help? Jae-hyun was quiet, then nodded. Mother would kill me for this. But yes, they arrived at the office building at midnight. Park was there with his lawyers. Documents ready. Transfer of the Kim Empire Trust to Park Dong-min. Tamara just needed to sign. "Where's Minji?" Tamara demanded. Park smiled. "Sign first. Tell me first. I don't think you're in a position to negotiate." Park gestured to his security. 6 armed men. "You're desperate. Sign the papers. Get your daughter's location, or refuse and never see her again." Tamara looked at Yangu. He nodded. She picked up the pen. Before she could sign, the lights went out. Complete darkness. Gunfire, muzzle flashes, chaos, screaming. Emergency lights came on. Park's security was down, his lawyers hiding. Standing in the doorway was Agent Han with a tactical team. "Park Dong-min, you're under arrest. Again. You have no authority." Park stood. "I was released legally. My lawyers will have me out by morning." "Not this time." Agent Han walked forward. "We have a witness. Someone from your network. Someone willing to testify." A figure stepped out. Older Korean man. Familiar face. Tamara gasped. "Tae Yang. Yangu's uncle." "Hello, nephew." Tae Yang looked at Yangu. "I'm sorry. For everything. Your mother came to me before she died. Begged me to protect you. I was too weak. Too controlled by Park and your father. But I kept records. Of everything. Every crime. Every victim. 30 years of documentation. And now I'm giving it to the government. All of it. Why now?" Young U's voice was hard. "Because they took children." Tae Young's voice broke. "I did terrible things. But I never hurt children. When I heard about this, I couldn't. I contacted Agent Han. Made a deal. Testimony for immunity. And I told them about tonight." Park's face went white. "You're lying. I recorded you." Tae Young pulled out a device. "Last week. In prison. You told me everything." The recording played. Park's voice detailing his plan. "Get the trust back. Kill everyone who threatened the network. Use Minji to eliminate them. Take the empire." Agent Han's team moved in. Park tried to run. They tackled him. This time military prison. No bail. You're done. As they dragged Park away, he screamed, "Minji doesn't answer to me. She's gone rogue. I don't know where she is. Your daughter is lost." The room went silent after Park was removed. Tamara collapsed. "We still don't have Grace. Not nothing." Tae Young approached. "I have something. From Grace Kim." He handed Tamara an envelope. She said if the children were ever taken, this would help you find them. Tamara opened it. Letter in Mrs. Kim's handwriting, and a device, a tracker. The letter read, "To Tamara. If you're reading this, my grandchildren are in danger." The device connects to trackers I had implanted in each child during medical checkups. Microscopic, GPS-enabled. It will lead you to them anywhere in the world. Use this. Bring them home. With love, Grace Kim. Tamara looked at the device. 3 dots appeared. 2 close together. 1 far away. Hana, Minho, Grace. Where is she? Young Yu looked over her shoulder. Tamara zoomed in. The Philippines, Manila. Agent Han pulled out his phone. "I can have a team there in 6 hours." "No." Tamara stood. "We're going. Now." 2 hours later, they were on a private plane to Manila. Tamara, Young Yu, Jae Hyun, 4 operators. Hana and Minho stayed with trusted security. The tracker showed an address. Residential neighborhood. Apartment building. 3rd floor. Unit 304. They arrived at 4 a.m., surrounded the building, prepared to breach. "Wait." Tamara stopped them. "Let me try first." She knocked. No answer. Knocked again? Light turned on. The door opened. Minji stood there holding baby Grace. Surprise, fear, resignation. "You found me. Give me my daughter." Minji looked at the baby. "For 2 weeks she's been mine. I fed her, held her. She knows my voice. She's not yours. Do you know what it's like to lose everything?" Minji's eyes filled with tears. "Your face, your future, your identity. You destroyed yourself." Tamara's voice was firm. "You chose revenge over healing." "That's not my fault." Minji looked at Grace. She's so perfect. You could still choose differently. Tamara stepped closer. Give me my daughter. Turn yourself in. Stop this. Minji was quiet, then kissed Grace's forehead. I'm sorry. She handed the baby to Tamara. Take her. Before I change my mind. Tamara took Grace, held her, felt whole for the first time in 2 weeks. Agent Han's team arrested Minji. She didn't fight. As they led her away, she looked back. Take care of her. She'll have better than what you gave her. I promise. They flew back to Seoul. Margaret was waiting with Hana and Minho. The twins saw their mother and sister. Family, complete. But that night, feeding Grace, watching the twins sleep, Tamara's phone buzzed. Unknown number. Video file. She almost didn't open it, but she had to know. The video showed a dark room. Someone tied to a chair. Beaten. Bloody. The camera moved closer. Tae Yang. A voice off camera. You thought destroying Park ended the network? He was one man. The network is 5 families. Park ran Korea. We run Japan, China, Taiwan, Philippines. You destroyed one operation. We have dozens more. The camera showed 4 men in shadows. The other network leaders. Your uncle betrayed us. Destroyed Park's operation. So we took him. He dies as a message. Taeyang's voice came through bloody lips. Don't negotiate. Protect the children. The voice continued. We'll offer the same deal Park did. Give us the Kim Empire. We leave your family alone. You have 48 hours. After that, we kill Taeyang. Then we come for your family. Not to take the children, to kill everyone. You, your husband, your children, all of you. We end the Kim bloodline and take the empire anyway. The video ended. Countdown appeared. 47 hours, 59 minutes. Tamara stared. Looked at Grace sleeping. At Hana. And Minho in their cribs. At Yangu in the doorway. They're never going to stop. Tamara's voice was hollow. Even if we give them everything. Yangu sat beside her. Then we don't give them anything. We end this. Permanently. How? The same way Mother did. Yangu called Jae-hyun, Agent Han, Margaret. We don't fight them one at a time. We hit all 4 families at once, simultaneously. We use Taeyang's evidence, expose all 4 operations, destroy them all in one strike. That's impossible. Then we make it possible. Yangu's voice was determined. We go public, release everything, force governments to act, make it so big they can't hide. They'll kill Taeyang. Yes. Yangu's voice was sad. He knew that when he testified. He's sacrificing himself so the children can be safe. Tamara looked at her babies. Do it. Release everything. Within an hour, every file was released. Media outlets across 5 countries, Interpol, UN, human rights organizations, thousands of pages, decades of crimes. Names, victims, everything. The story went global, international scandal, 5 families exposed, raids happened simultaneously, hundreds arrested, facilities shut down, children recovered, the network collapsed in 72 hours. But Taeyang's body was found in a Seoul warehouse, tortured, executed. At his funeral, Yangu stood over the casket. Thank you for choosing them over yourself. Margaret stood beside him. Grace would be proud. The 4 remaining leaders were arrested, extradited, prosecuted. Their empires seized. The organization destroyed. Park Dong-min died in prison 3 weeks later. Heart attack. But everyone knew the network's remaining people had killed him for failing. Minji was sentenced to 15 years. She'd cooperated, shown remorse. Tamara visited once, brought Grace. Let Minji see she was healthy and loved. I dream about her, Minji said through glass. I know she's not mine, but I still dream. You gave her back, Tamara said. That counted for something. Will you tell her about me? Tamara nodded. I'll tell her the truth, all of it. That at the end, you chose to let her go. 6 months passed. Trials continued, but life became something new, normal. Hana and Minho turned one, walking, talking, understanding the words mama and dada. Grace grew, healthy, happy. never knowing how close she'd come to being lost. Yangu and Tamara got married. Real marriage, not a contract, a choice. Jae-hyun stood as best man. Margaret walked Tamara down the aisle. The twins were flower girl and ring bearer. Grace slept through the ceremony. At the reception, Tamara looked at Yangu. "We made it. We did more than survive." Yangu held her close. "We won." "Did we?" Tamara looked at their children, at the scars they all carried. "Did we really win?" "We're together. The children are safe. The network is destroyed. That's winning." Yangu kissed her forehead. "That's everything." But that night, putting the children to bed, Tamara's phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost deleted it, but opened it. Video showed a man in shadows. Voice disguised. "Congratulations on destroying the network. Truly admirable." The figure leaned forward. "But you made one mistake. You assumed Park and his 4 associates were the top. They weren't. They were middle management, regional directors. The real organization, the one operating for 200 years across 15 countries, we're still here, watching, planning." Tamara's breath caught. "We're very interested in your children. Not for money, not for power, for something else. Something you don't know they have yet. We'll be in touch. In 5 years. When they're old enough. When they're valuable for what we really need. Until then, enjoy your peace. You've earned it. But know this isn't over. It's never over. We're patient. We can wait. Can you?" The video ended. No countdown, no threat. Just a promise. Tamara showed Yangu. He watched, then deleted it, crushed the phone. "No." Youngu's voice was firm. "We're not doing this. We're not living in fear. If they come in 5 years, we'll fight then. But today, we're safe. The children are safe. And we're going to live like it. But what if?" "No what ifs." Yangu pulled her close. "We choose peace. We choose family. We choose to believe we won. Because we did. If someone tries to take that from us in the future, we'll fight again. But not today. Today we live." Tamara looked at her husband. At the man who destroyed her and spent a year becoming someone worth knowing. At the father their children deserved. At the partner she'd chosen. She nodded. "Okay, we live." They went to bed. Together, married, safe, whole. But in the nursery, baby Grace slept peacefully, unaware that somewhere, someone was watching, waiting, planning, patient. Drop a comment telling me what you thought of this episode. And don't forget to subscribe to K Mafia Romance Stories for more tales that'll keep you hooked. If you're ready for episode 5 and want to find out what happens 5 years later, what the mysterious organization wants with the children, and whether this family can finally find peace, type episode 5 in the comments right now. See you in the next one.